which might be card-sized, and it is asymmetric. So, for example, the sender of the key actually needs to have a laser, and you might have a slightly larger unit on that side. But on the receiver's end, we expect it to become very small and be integrable into many devices which are out there in terms of hardware. And particular applications of that are very interesting. In fact, one of the things we've been looking at is how to secure local area networks within a building. So, for example, from your data center to the desktop, that this technology, if we can make it cheap enough, which we believe per link we should be able to achieve, and small enough, we'll be able to achieve that end.
Any further questions from the floor at this stage? No? Paul Johnson, I'm not sure if you'd like to perhaps respond to Peter's comments earlier. I'm inviting you if you'd like to. Perhaps if you could come and join us up here, because we'd like you to talk into a microphone, and we'll pick you up on the camera as well. Then I'll take a question from my left on the side of the room. Thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you very much. I guess the shortcut. We are a global security company, and we're heavily engaged in many aspects of across the chain of applications of this type of technology. And so we have a fair degree of insight into the advances in this area, and our involvement, recognising there's a window of opportunity here, our involvement and our significant involvement, hopefully, in as this develops, reflects our confidence that this development has very, very substantial national security and commercial payoff.
We have a question on the left. We'll bring the microphone to you. If you could just identify yourself, that would be appreciated.
Tony Maple from IBM. It's a very impressive technology for describing it. My question really goes to whether this simply is encrypting and securing one layer of the security problem that we face. Will this potentially simply shift the target for attackers into other areas like the endpoint security or the operating system? Will it simply lock up one area so that attackers can't get to that, but they'll change their attacks into other areas that are more amenable to defeat, so to speak?
Well, that's an interesting question, and I guess it's been often contended that the encryption technology is not the weakest link in the information security chain. However, we believe that as part of a credible risk management strategy, you should make every link as strong as you can, much as we do in other aspects of life, whether it's automotive safety technology or many other aspects. And that's where this potential to make that link as strong as we can, and we believe in a fashion that's comparable to conventional encryption technology. So if the cost is comparable, the effort required to deploy the technology is no greater, I guess the question will become, why would you not consider such a technology?
Paul, I saw you nodding during that question. I'm not sure if you actually wanted to make a comment on that or not.
No, not it's a good answer.
Passing some commentary in agreement anyway with perhaps the issues raised. Do we have any more questions around the room? Yes, I'll take one over here. We'll bring you the microphone. Just wait for it if you would, please.
Thank you. Keith Besgrove from the Department of Broadband Communications and the Digital Economy. Dr. Sharma, you mentioned in passing, in response to one of the other questions, the development of, and I think you used the expression, an appropriate intellectual property protection strategy. Is the technology being patented, or are you looking at other forms of protection?
Thank you. That's an interesting question, and something that at the company and the board level that we've invested a fair amount of time in discussing. At the moment, the intellectual property associated with this technology is being treated as trade secret, and we have been consulting with a range of advisors and experts in this area to come up with a strategy that will be most appropriate. And part of that piece is what sorts of alliances we will make with other large technology companies. So we don't want to go down any premeditated path which may then be at odds with the relationships that we put in place. So we expect that over the coming months there are several elements of it which are patentable, that we will look to protect them through appropriate means. But that's still very much work in progress.
Any further questions? If not, yes, I'll take one.
Chris Horsburgh from Austrade. Vikram, you talked about the ability of the technology to encrypt information. You referred to its ability to detect breaches in security. In layman's terms, can you outline how the technology enables detection of security breaches in application?
Yeah, sure. Basically, when you get down to the fundamental level of nature, quantum level, the basic act of observation of those quantum states will necessarily leave a fingerprint on those quantum states. And there's, in fact, nothing that can be done through any technology. In fact, you'd have to be breaking the laws of physics as we understand them now so as not to leave your fingerprint on there. First generation technology of QKD technology harnesses the fact that the single photon would be affected